Part 70. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 703. Chapter 685, 5 Immortal Realms, 3 Mountains, and 4 Seas. Han Bachin was stunned for a moment. Isn't it over yet? Su Junming nodded and turned his eyes. Do you still remember any strange things you encountered before you fell into coma? Xiao Liuzi, who had just woken up, had a thoughtful look on his face. After a moment, his expression changed. I remembered. We were passing by Yundu Mountain that day, and it suddenly rained heavily. As a last resort, we stayed in a dilapidated mountain temple on the mountain. At night, it was Fatty Li and I's turn to stay on duty. It was calm at first, but in the middle of the night, a strange gust of wind suddenly blew up in the yard. Not only did it startle the horses, but the oilcloth covering the car was also blown down. Fat Li went to pack up the carriage, and I went to see the horses. As soon as we walked outside the temple gate, we saw a wolf-like beast about half a man tall, ready to eat our horses. In a moment of urgency, I hit it with a mandarin duck dart. It turned out that this beast was very fast. He could dodge by twisting his body, and his eyes were fierce, like a spirit. The dark green eyes made people feel chilled in their hearts. I was worried that I was no match for this beast, so I wanted to call my brother and the others to get up and kill it together. But before I could say anything, the beast seemed to be frightened. He suddenly ran into the dense forest and disappeared in a flash. But before he left, he spit out green light at me. The green light was faster than electricity, and I couldn't avoid it at all. I only felt a pain in my heart, and then I fainted. The next time I wake up is now. The words fell back. Brother, are the brothers okay? It's okay, everyone is fine. You're the only one who's been unconscious. That's good. After heaving a sigh of relief, he hugged his fist towards Su Junming and said with a grateful expression, Han Yunzi thanks Taoist master for saving his life. After a slight nod, he said, it's easy to do, no need to be polite. Sixth brother, you have just woken up and your body is weak. Please stay here and have a good rest. It's time to work, brother. One family does not speak two languages. After appeasing Han Yunzi, the two got out of the car. Han Bachin took out 30 taels of silver and respectfully presented it to Su Junming. Thank you so much, Taoist master, for saving my sixth brother's life. A small token of thanks is not disrespectful. I hope the Taoist master will accept it. Su Junming is never polite about what he deserves. He patted the gourd on his waist and collected the silver. Master Han, let me tell you the truth. What made your sixth brother unconscious was not a spirit, but a demon. Demon. Han Bachin was shocked. Spirits and monsters are different. The former are just old age, or they swallowed some elixir by chance, and developed spiritual wisdom. They act entirely based on instinct. Although they are more troublesome than ordinary animals, warriors can still kill them. But the demon is different. Not only can it control the wind and create mist, but it also has weird magics accompanying it. Unless it is the monks who see the dragon but never see its tail, it will be difficult for others to deal with it. Su Junming nodded affirmatively and said, it is still the most vindictive wolf demon. Although I don't know why it didn't eat you that day, but seeing that the demonic energy still exists in my body, I know that it is not dead. Taoist master, help. Han Bachin said quickly. He is not a fool. Demons, even the lowest demons, can easily swallow dozens of mouthfuls of his golden tiger escort agency. Get up. We are destined to meet each other, so I will help you. As long as he is not a villain, Su Junming will not hesitate to help. Thank you, Taoist master. Thank you, Taoist master. I just don't know when this wolf demon will attack. 3 days later Su Junming counted with his fingers and said. 3 days. After nodding thoughtfully, he turned around and said, "Old Chi, hurry up and pack a carriage for the Taoist priest." "Yes, chief bodyguard. Please also ask the Taoist priest to accompany us. We will get rid of the wolf demon in 3 days. Han will be grateful." Easy to say. When he first came here, Su Junming came here to inquire about the news. He didn't have any big goals for the time being, so he simply stayed in the escort team for the time being by exterminating demons. Escorts travel extensively and have extensive knowledge, so they are one of the most suitable channels for seeking information. Although they don't know much about the spiritual world, they have a very thorough understanding of the secular world. Although 3 days were short, Su Junming had a deeper understanding of this world. In general, this is an era similar to the coexistence of the Northern Song Dynasty, Liao Kingdom, Jin Kingdom, Xixia, and Dali in Chinese history. But here, Dali became Nanzhao. However, many famous ministers and generals are similar to the Northern Song Dynasty in Chinese history. For example, the current emperor of the Song Dynasty was the famous Dejun Emperor Zhaoji. Zhou Puxi is also the servant of the disciple, also known as the Right Prime Minister. He is the Grand Master Cai Jing, the leader of the Six Thieves, and so on. But the difference is that in Chinese history, the Jin replaced the Liao, and here Jin and Liao coexisted. Jin Taizhu Wanyanaguda and Liao Taizhu Yelu Abayaji were both demon clans and the founders of the Blue Emperor Immortal Domain and the Black Emperor Immortal Domain. Before that, the entire Chixian Shenzhou was under the rule of Huangdi Xianting. The first heavenly emperor of the Yellow Emperor's immortal court was none other than Huang Emperor Ji Xianyuan, who ascended from the lower world. After Ji Xianyuan ascended to heaven, the second emperor of the Yellow Emperor's immortal court was named Taihao, also known as God Taihao. After Taihao ascended to heaven, the third emperor was named Shaihao, and the fourth emperor was Si Wenming, also known as Deu. After Yu the Great, there were disputes among the heroes, and no one had the absolute strength to rule the world. Therefore, there was a situation where the 5 immortal realms, 3 mountains, and 4 seas coexisted. It has lasted for nearly 10,000 years. As for the mortal dynasties, they were all ruled by human emperors from the beginning, and there was no so-called heaven at all. It was not until Deu established the Xia dynasty that the distinction between immortals and mortals was established. What's even more strange is that after the collapse of Xia, it was directly followed by Song, Liao, and Jin, without any transitions like Qin and Han. Su Junming is also confused about the unrecognizable history, so he simply does not waste his energy. In addition to history, geography is also very different from what he knew. Chixian Shenzhou is a vast land that is longer from east to west and shorter from north to south, stretching for 150 million miles. Surrounded by endless sea water. Different from the Shushan world, this is a real place with a round sky. Qi County, the center of Shenzhou, an essential area of nearly 60 million miles, was ruled by the Song dynasty, and was also the area under the jurisdiction of the Yellow Emperor's immortal domain. In the vast dense forests in the barren mountains and rivers of the south, there live a witch tribe that drinks blood and is naturally powerful in fighting. In the high mountains and deserts of the west, although they are all humans, they believe in Buddhism, which is where Xixia is located. Directly in the north, on the vast prairie, humans and demons are mixed and ruled by the Liao kingdom, but the demon clan is stronger. The east, to be precise, the northeast, is the kingdom of Jin dominated by the demon clan, and is ruled by the eastern Qing emperor. As for the 3 mountains and 4 seas, Han Bachan had never heard of these big forces in the cultivation world. However, it is understandable that his golden tiger escort only moves around Dongchuan Mansion and rarely goes outside, so the information is not well informed. Of course, don't think that Dongchuan Mansion is small. In fact, its area is as large as that of the entire Asia that Su Junming knew in his previous life. As for the county above, one is equivalent to the surface area of 3 or 4 Earths. There is a bigger road above the county. All the way there is nearly 100 Earth surface area. There are 23 roads in the Song dynasty. You can imagine the vastness of her country. As for the population, although there are gods, Buddhas, and demons, they have not had much positive impact on the mortal world. The whole thing is no different from the Tang and Song dynasties in China. Like Chongshan Academy, there is no such thing as a great increase in lifespan and a population explosion brought about by the popularization of spiritual practice. Therefore, although the Song dynasty was vast, it was nearly 10,000 times larger than the Song dynasty in Su Junming's memory. But her population is only a few hundred billion. Don't think it's a lot. The same area, replaced by modern industrial civilization, can easily support dozens of times more people. There will only be more with Chongshan Academy's model. Back to business. 3 days later, the escort team walked out of the mountainous area and entered the open plains. Stay temporarily in a small town called Dongpanku. The sky is dim and the tired birds are returning to their nests. Except for a few lanterns swaying in the wind, which could still shed some hazy light, the entire inn was plunged into darkness. In the upper bedroom of the inn, Han Bachan and Han Yunzi were sitting on stools nearby, looking restless. Looking at the slightly open window, Han Yunzi, who had recovered a lot, glanced at it from time to time, with a hint of fear in his eyes that was uncontrollable. Afterwards, when I thought back to the scene where I met the wolf demon 7 days ago, I still felt terrified and secretly felt lucky that I was lucky. Brother. After patting his hand and signaling for peace, Han Bachan stood up, walked quietly to the bed, looked at the green-robed Taoist who was sitting cross-legged on it, meditating with his eyes closed, and said respectfully, "Taoist Master Chongshan, will the wolf demon really come tonight?" Slowly opening his eyes, a faint light reflected in his deep eyes. "It's already here." Han Bachan's body trembled and his face looked horrified. He was about to say something when suddenly there was a loud wind outside the inn. Wow, the violent wind blew all the windows open in an instant. Several oil lamps in the room were blown out by the wind and fell to the ground. The paintings and other furnishings hanging on the walls were all staggered and chaotic. Accompanied by the wind sound like howling ghosts and wolves, a black shadow rushed in like lightning. The sound of the wind died down in an instant. Through the moonlight, the two Han brothers could vaguely see a middle-aged man wearing a green cloak, a high crown on his head, and a thin face, standing in the center of the room. But what's frightening is that his eyes actually emit a dark green light, and his pair of vertical pupils don't look like a human at all, but more like a beast. But there was a human glow in these beast eyes, but with a hint of ferocity. I asked why the ghost wolf technique didn't work. It turned out that I encountered a nosy Taoist priest. Meeting the other party's eyes, Su Junming smiled lightly. "I'm very surprised that a heavenly wolf at the level of a soul would actually come to the Song dynasty from the grassland. And judging from the injuries in your body, there is still demonic energy left. It is obviously caused by a very powerful demon master. I'm afraid, this is why you didn't even dare to kill a person with a talent for martial arts, so you just ran away with your tail between your legs, right? Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes." Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 704. Who are you? The middle-aged Taoist's eyes were full of green light, but there was a hint of sternness in his tone. "Me? Haha, you are unlucky to meet me." Before he finished speaking, a green light like lightning came straight towards Su Junming's door. "Strike first to gain the upper hand. Reach out a little, and the soft silver-white brilliance spreads out." In an instant, everything around him seemed to have pressed the pause button. Looking at the serious demon who was about to leave, Su Junming smiled faintly. "Although wolves are cunning, our cultivation levels are too far apart." He reached out and made a move, and a bit of starlight flew out of the opponent's body. It was the soul of the Sirius. The mana prompted the human soul divine gate to fly out of the dantian. After swallowing the starlight, A silent movie composed of the wolf demon's memory flashed quickly in front of Su Junming. I see, it's my luck. His face showed joy. He stretched out his hand and made a move, and the bag of magic on the wolf demon's waist flew into his hand. He easily broke the seal above and took out a tightly sealed jade box from inside. After looking at it for a while, he uncovered the three-layered talisman on it. In an instant, extremely rich evil energy surged out along with the power of the stars. However, it was quickly blocked by Su Junming's sealed divine light. Opening the jade box, along with the navy blue aura, a tattered triangular flag slowly flew out. The strange thing is that the further away from the jade box, the bigger the triangular flag becomes. Su Junming stretched out his hand and, being proficient in the art of space, he was able to carve out tens of thousands of feet of space from a small area in an instant. A flash of green light. A large navy blue triangular flag, 3 feet tall and 9 feet tall, 6 feet wide and 7 feet wide, appeared in front of Su Junming. The flagpole, which is as thick as an adult's thigh, is completely green and black, like a big spear that is about to pierce the sky. The sharp tip of the spear emits cold light, which is intimidating. The banner, which is nearly 7 feet long, is entirely navy blue, with a triangular edge, and a moon-roaring wolf that is entirely azure embroidered in the middle. The giant wolf with visible hair seemed to be alive, with sharp fangs and ferocious eyes. Looking at it, I vaguely heard the desolate wolf howl that echoed through the sky. Unfortunately, this wolf flag seemed to have been greatly damaged. The thick and tough flag was full of holes and tears of varying lengths. A good flag, but almost half of it is missing. Even the remaining parts were stained and dilapidated, as if they had been left in a corner for hundreds of years and had just been dug out. However, despite the broken wolf flag, there are 12 complete prohibitions inside it. Obviously this is a perfect level of top-grade immortal weapon. More importantly, he also discovered 9 other traces of the existence of the immortal Forbidden City. Obviously, when this flag is complete, it is an immortal treasure with 21 immortal restrictions. Immortal treasure is an immortal weapon used by Tai Immortal. Taixian is a higher realm. Although Su Junming is already standing at the last moment, it will take hundreds of years of practice to kick him out. Serious flag. Su Junming felt that it was a wise choice for him to use the divine ball to calculate for himself before starting. If not, I'm afraid I won't have the opportunity to get the serious flag. However, the origin of this treasure is not simple. It can be learned from the memory of the wolf demon. This treasure is the national treasure of the Liao Kingdom. A top-notch immortal weapon that contains the Way of Wind. To be able to steal this treasure from the heavily guarded Liao Palace, the identity of the wolf demon just now is naturally not simple. From his memory, he learned that his name was Yelvshi, and he was also a member of the royal family of the Liao Kingdom. He was of pure ancient Sirius bloodline and was born extraordinary. He was the most famous rising star among the royal family of the Liao Kingdom. In just 100 years, he had advanced to the late stage of Yuan Shen. He was the fastest disciple among the Liao royal family for thousands of years. However, as the saying goes, the first bird will be struck with the gun. Moreover, throughout the long history, the battles between the royal family are far greater than those among the people. The Liao Kingdom is naturally no exception. Yelushi's excellence threatened Yelu Yan's position as crown prince. Although the latter had already become a heavenly being, Yelvshi's cultivation was too fast. Give him 1,000 years, let alone a heavenly immortal, it is impossible for him to become a true immortal. Although the Liao Kingdom absorbed the Confucianism of the Song dynasty that ordering elders and younger ones, cultivation was the most important criterion for inheriting the throne of emperor. In order to eliminate this rapidly rising threat, Yelyu used his power to mobilize the royal family members who guarded the Sarayan wolf flag. He also invited Yelvshi to the important place where the Sirius flag was stored. He did not keep the appointment himself, but took the opportunity to let the disciples of the heart demon sect he collected use the 7 emotion magic to arouse Yelvshi's greed and let him steal the Sirius flag himself. Flag. Privately stealing the Sirius flag, even if Yelvshi was the royal family of the Liao kingdom, he would not be able to escape death. He simply refused to do anything and took the treasure and fled towards the southern Song dynasty. Only in this human country, which had always been at odds with the Liao kingdom, could he have a glimmer of hope. According to Yeluyan's estimation, Yelvshi, who was in the later stage of Yuan Shen, could not escape from the Liao kingdom no matter how much he could run, and would be captured by those worshippers with the Xianxian cultivation level. But what he didn't know was that Yelvshi was also very human. In addition to the natural magical power Xiaoyu unique to the Sirius tribe, he also awakened a natural magical power called Zhangyu. The latter can hide the breath and become invisible. But he didn't tell anyone that he had 2 natural powers. Only then can he earn a chance of survival for himself. The magical power of the hidden moon, coupled with the speed given by the Sirius banner, actually allowed it to escape from the Liao kingdom. However, the Sirius flag is the treasure of the Liao kingdom and must not be lost. Even in the Song dynasty, the pursuit from the Liao kingdom never stopped. When he met the Golden Tiger escort agency some time ago, it was when he was being hunted. That's why they didn't dare to bite people and ran away as soon as they were discovered. Now that he finally got rid of his opponent, he thought about coming back for revenge and having a hearty meal to replenish his consumed energy, blood, and mana. After understanding the whole story, when he looked at the wolf demon named Yelvshi, his eyes were full of indifference. Since escaping to the Song dynasty, he has devoured thousands of people, which can be said to be a heavy debt of blood. I originally wanted to keep you as a coolie, but now it seems that I can't keep you here. As soon as he reached out to grab it, Yelvshi's physical body collapsed. After a moment, it turned into a blood-red pill and flew into the green gourd around his waist. An essence and blood pill condensed from the flesh and blood of the soul-level Sirius demon can hardly bring much help to him now. Keep it for now. Look at the Sirius flag in his hand again. There is no doubt that if it is left behind, it will be regarded as a mortal enemy by the Liao kingdom. Smiling calmly, he casually put the green gourd around his waist. The reason why he came to the Lingkong immortal realm was to occupy this realm's destiny and facilitate the annexation of Chongshan world. To achieve this goal, we must first clean up the 5 immortal realms and the 3 mountains and 4 seas in this world, just like we clean up Ime, Buddhism, and demon sect in Chongshan world. The Liao kingdom is naturally one of them. What's more, it is still a demon clan force. Therefore, it doesn't matter whether you offend or not. Even Su Junming was lucky to get the Sirius flag. Without it, the strength of Liao kingdom would undoubtedly drop a lot. With a wave of his sleeves, the previously opened space disappeared, and the room that had been messed up by the wind returned to its original state. Under the orange light, the night is quiet and quiet. Watching all this, Han Bachan and Han Yunzi beside them looked in a daze, almost as if they were still dreaming. Okay, the wolf demon has been captured by me. You can go back and rest. The faint words made the 2 of them tremble. Looking at the tall Taoist with a mysterious aura sitting cross-legged on the bed, they quickly bowed and saluted. Thank you, Taoist priest, for your help. The 2 of us will take our leave. After saying that, he exited the door with a respectful expression. After the matter was settled, Su Junming also wanted to leave. Thinking of the previous harvest, he took out the divine ball of heaven and calculation again to calculate his own luck. He was slightly stunned and looked at the closed door. Is there any chance for them? He frowned. It was hard to imagine that a group of bodyguards with weak merit and low cultivation level could have the opportunity to be useful to him. However, he believed that the result of the Tai Bagua he had deduced would be correct. In particular, there is also the help of the Tianji Divine Ball, which is an advanced low-grade innate spiritual treasure. Forget it, in that case, just follow. With nothing important to do, he made a decision quickly. At dawn the next day, Han Bachin knocked on the door. Seeing Su Junming getting out of bed, of course he was very grateful. I can't repay Taoist master for saving his life. I got this piece of beautiful jade by chance. I will give it to Taoist master today. I hope that Taoist master will not be too polite. While speaking, Han Bachin reached out and took out a black wooden box from his arms. After opening it, put it in front of Su Junming. I saw. In the red soft lining, there is an oval-shaped jade embryo the size of a child's palm. When I took it out, I saw that the tentacles were warm and moist, and the translucent jade seemed to contain a group of light golden mist. It was obviously a piece of extremely high-quality warm jade. However, to Su Junming, this piece of warm jade that has been heated for 500 years is not a precious thing. He can create whatever he wants. Are you really willing to give it to me? Although this jade is precious, it is nothing compared to life. Seeing his sincere tone, Su Junming nodded slightly, put the jade embryo back, and fastened the jade box. Take your things back. Taoist master, this is, Han Bachin was stunned. Your jade is nice, but it is of no use to me. If you are really grateful to me for saving your lives, give me a map of Dongchuan Mansion. Map, Han Bachin was stunned for a moment. Exactly. As escorts travel around the world, Han Bachin certainly has maps, but drawing maps privately is a serious crime, so the maps of the escort bureau are always in his hands and have never been revealed to others. You are not willing. No, 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 Taoist priest, don't get me wrong. It's just a little unexpected. After saying that, he took out a brocade bag from his arms, opened it, and took out a piece of cowhide. Unfolding the folded part, a fairly detailed map of Dongchuan Prefecture appeared in front of Su Junming. For any escort agency traveling around the world, the map is the most important thing. It can save countless escort hours. Therefore, the more profound the escort agency is and the more detailed the map, the more precious it is. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 705. Is this Dongchuan Fukan? Exactly. This is the largest city in Dongchuan Prefecture. There are millions of people in it, and it is very lively. After a pause, the Taoist priest is going to. Pandeo is going down the mountain to experience this time, and he is about to see the prosperity of the world. Since Dongchuan City is the #1 city in Dongchuan Prefecture, there is no reason not to go. That's great. It just so happens that we have to escort the escort back to Dongchuan. If the Taoist priest doesn't mind, how about coming with us? He had finally seen what Su Junming was capable of. With such a powerful Taoist person traveling with him, there is no need to worry about ghost foxes along the way. Seeing the expectation on his face, Su Junming smiled lightly. Since the purpose is the same, it doesn't hurt to go together. Great. Taoist priest, please wait a moment. I'll tell them to eat quickly and get ready to leave. After 3 days together, he already knew that Su Junming had gone without food, so he didn't mention bringing him food. Everyone was unhappy to hear that this powerful Taoist priest was accompanying his escort agency. Having traveled around the world for many years, they are well aware of the dangers of this world. Those ordinary monsters are nothing more than ordinary monsters. Once they encounter real monsters or ghosts, they will be wiped out. If there is a profound Taoist priest, the security will undoubtedly be several times stronger. In order to satisfy the distinguished guest Su Junming, Han Bachin specially packed a carriage for him. Taoist master, we are about to leave, Han Bachin said. Well, don't worry about me if you have nothing to do. Yes, Taoist priest, don't worry. After saying this, he took 2 steps back, got on his horse, and shouted. Set off. The escort team consisting of nearly 100 people, led by the escort, set off along the official road. When they turned the corner at the end of the road, a light flashed next to them, and the clone that Su Junming had left behind appeared. However, the pedestrians walking around and the waiter greeting him at the door of the inn seemed not to notice him. No one noticed him. With a step forward, the clone came to the top of the inn, opened a temporary space, and stopped. Time passed little by little, and it was 7 days in a blink of an eye. Another night, Su Junming's clone, who was meditating quietly, instantly opened his eyes and looked at the distant sky. 2 cyan meteors flew towards here like lightning. Before it could get close, a large net fell in the sky, accompanied by a rich cyan brilliance. In the blink of an eye, everything within 100 feet with the inn as the center was caught in the net. Whoa! Amidst the sound of the strong wind, 2 figures, one tall and one short, appeared above the inn. Yelashi, let me see where you go this time. As soon as the slightly satisfied voice finished speaking, before the 2 of them could take any action, they saw a bright spiritual light flying straight upward. The middle-grade immortal weapon Forbidden God net that the 2 imprisoned in the inn seemed to not exist, allowing the other party to pass through. The light spread out, and a tall young Taoist wearing a green Taoist robe, with long black hair tied back by a gold ring, appeared in front of him. Who is your excellency? Although he couldn't feel the other person's cultivation level, but seeing how he treated his treasure like nothing, you knew he was no ordinary person. Are you the royal family of the Liao kingdom serving Chen Taifeng and Yaluruan? Chen Taifeng, who was wearing a purple robe and had a horse face, looked cautious. Your Excellency, we have received permission from Privy Councillor Tong Guantong of the Song dynasty to capture Yelv Shi, the traitor to the Liao royal family in the Song dynasty. After he finished speaking, a golden book appeared in his palm. This is an official document. If you don't believe it, you can check it. After a quick glance, the clone smiled lightly. It's just an official document, doesn't it mean it can't be falsified? We are worshipped by the royal family of the Liao kingdom and represent the majesty of the royal family of the Liao kingdom. Although you have a high level of cultivation, you must also think clearly about whether the price of provoking our royal family of the Liao kingdom and protecting Yelvshi is worth it. Yaluruan, who was tall and thin, wearing a black robe and with a sinister expression, said coldly. Protecting Yelvshi? Haha, what a joke. As for your Liao royal family, I haven't taken it seriously yet. Bold. Yaluruan was furious. Before he could finish speaking, he saw a silvery white light coming from the sky. The 2 of them looked at each other badly and resorted to various tricks. But the divine power contained in the silver white brilliance was so powerful that it was unbelievable. When it was illuminated, it was as if a billion-ton mountain was pressing down on it, and it was instantly unable to move. In an instant, it seemed as if his mind was frozen. With a move of his hand, 2 people, no, I should say 2 demons, flew towards Su Junming's clone. The 2 late-stage demon immortals are not bad. With a wave of his sleeves, he put away the 2 demon queens and took a look at the golden book. It was indeed covered with a large seal representing the authority of the Song dynasty. Shaked his head. You suck in any world. He reached out and grasped it, and with the flames, the golden book turned into ashes. After capturing the 2 demons, the clone did not leave. There were more than 2 demon immortals sent by the Liao royal family to capture Yelvstone. In the next half-month, 3 waves came. 3 true immortals and 12 heavenly immortals were all captured before they returned to their original form. At this time, Su Junming had traveled nearly 1,000 miles with the escort team. The world is too vast, and for ordinary mortals, it has become an insurmountable chasm. It is just a mansion, and it would take several years to cross it on horseback. Fortunately, they are not too far from Dongchuanfukan. In half a month, only the last 800 miles are left. If we win here in the future, we must set up teleportation arrays in every city, and use hearses and spiritual boats to communicate with each other between counties, Su Junming thought to himself. Under his guidance, the disciples of Chongshan Academy made great use of Tiangong Taoism. Not only did they create a hearse that is equivalent to a car in modern society, but they also created a spirit boat that is equivalent to an airplane. The reason why they have the word spirit is because these things are powered by spiritual energy, and are driven by restrictions and formations as parts. In the secular world of Chongshan, its development is no less than that of the Chinese world in Su Junming's memory. Taoist priest. Han Bachen's voice came in. What's the matter? The front is Yuejia town. I have a friend who has lived here for many years. I want to stay at his house for a few days and correct my team before setting off. What do you think, Taoist master? We have been exhausted along the way, and we are tired. It is appropriate to take a rest. Just follow what Layman Han said. Thank you, Taoist priest Yuchen. We will reach Yuejia town in another 10 miles. Please ask Taoist priest to get off at that time. That's fine. After Han Bachin left, the motorcade continued to move forward along the official road. Not long after, a big town appeared ahead. It's said to be a town, but looking at the rows of pavilions inside, I'm afraid there are hundreds of thousands of people here. Su Junming has seen this kind of thing many times. After all, Chixian Shenzhou is too big, the town is larger than a mansion in Jushu's world, and the population is naturally larger. Like many towns we passed before, Yuejia town also has a main street that runs through the town and connects the inside and outside. It was still a sandy road at first, but after passing through a wooden archway that was written in Yuejia town, it was completely replaced by bluestone. It can be seen that this town has existed for a long time. The stone slabs on the ground have become uneven due to long-term friction, and the corners are covered with moss. After walking about 100 meters, we officially entered the town. There are rows of shops on both sides, all with 2 or even 3 floors of shops along the street. But the strange thing is that on this sunny morning with a gentle breeze, the main street should be crowded with people. Not to mention the crowds, even the shops next to it were rarely open for business. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 706. Chapter 688, The Disaster of the Ghost Fox. Brother, was it not like this before Yuejia town? Han Yunzi said. Han Bachin nodded and looked around. Yunzi, find a few stable brothers and go to the surrounding stores to inquire. If necessary, spend some money. After Han Yunzi nodded, he found 2 escorts and walked into an open inn nearby. It didn't take long before he came back. How? Brother, let's ask clearly. The store owner said that people have died frequently in Yuejia town recently, even during the day. Everyone thought it was ghosts and foxes causing trouble. Therefore, people are panicked and all businesses are in ruins. Ghosts, foxes, and monsters. Don't the local government and nearby palaces care about it? They took care of it, but they didn't find the ghost behind it. They just issued an official document asking people in the town to stay at home as much as possible and not to go out unless they had something to do. Han Bachin nodded thoughtfully. Brother, why don't we leave here as soon as possible? The trouble caused by demons and ghosts is beyond our control. Yun's Haimo, don't worry. We can't control it, but the Taoist priests certainly can. Subconsciously looking at the carriage in the center of the team, the panic on Han Yunzi's face calmed down for the most part in an instant. In his panic, he forgot that there was a Taoist priest in his team who had great magical powers and could conquer demons. Don't worry. The Taoist master is an expert in this world. If there is a monster causing trouble in Yuejia town, he will definitely be subdued by the Taoist master. Han Yunzi nodded in agreement. The disaster of demons and ghosts. The huge spiritual consciousness that Su Junming had accumulated in his body was about to be released, but it stopped in an instant. His spiritual consciousness is too amazing. Once released, too many people will be alarmed, which is inconsistent with his current purpose of traveling around the Song dynasty, collecting information, observing the situation, and then taking advantage of the opportunity. Forget it, it's just a monster. When you show up, it won't be too late to capture him. Han Bachin led the escort team to the door of a large house with red walls and green tiles. At a glance, you can see the red lacquer courtyard gate, the golden lion mouth, the high walls and the wide courtyard. Although it cannot be called magnificent, it is definitely not an ordinary home. But the door was locked at the moment, and it didn't look like anyone was home. Old Chi, come forward and call the door, Han Bachin said after looking at him for a few times. Lu Laokai nodded, dismounted, and ran to the door, dong dong dong, and knocked 3 times. Is anyone here? Open the door. The chief escort of the Golden Tiger Escort Bureau is here to visit your master. After shouting loudly, not long after, I heard the sound of tiny footsteps coming from far to near inside. Squeak. The closed courtyard door opened a crack, and a young boy wearing a grey cloth hat with a hanging turban on his head poked his head out of the crack in the door. He glanced at Lu Laokai, then turned to look at the escort team with nearly 100 people outside. Are you really from the Golden Tiger Escort Agency in Dongchuan Fukan? Our chief bodyguard is here, how can we cheat? Go and inform your master, Lu Laokai said. Xiaoxi also knew that Mr. Han, the head of the Golden Tiger Escort Agency, was an old friend of his own, so he nodded. You guys stay here for a moment, I'll go and notify the master right away. After that, he turned around and closed the courtyard door, and went away far away. Not long after, heavy and chaotic footsteps came over. Boom. The heavy courtyard doors all opened, and a tall, elegant middle-aged man wearing a dark purple robe, a jade crown, and 3 long beards strode out, led by the old housekeeper next to him. At a glance, he saw Han Bachin sitting on a tall horse with a big sword on his back. Brother Han. Brother-in-law. Han Bachin clasped his fists with his hands, quickly got off his horse, and faced him. I haven't seen you for several years, but my brother-in-law is still as charming as ever. It's really gratifying to congratulate him. Brother Han, you're welcome. I'm stuck here, and that's not as good as your pleasure of traveling around the world. The two of them held their arms tightly and said happily. Come on, let's go in and talk. Han Bachin quickly grabbed the other party and said, Brother-in-law, wait a minute, I will introduce you to an expert. Expert. After smiling, Han Bachin led him to Su Junming's carriage. Director, we have arrived at our destination, please get off the bus. As soon as he finished speaking, there was a flash of light, and Su Junming's figure instantly appeared outside the carriage. This magical scene made everyone who saw it look shocked. Han Bachin calmed down quickly because he had seen his magical power before and was prepared. Brother Yu, this is Taoist priest Chongshan. Thanks to Taoist priest for helping me, otherwise I'm afraid you wouldn't be able to see me. Brother is in danger. I met a wolf demon on the road and almost died. Han Bachin nodded. Thank you, Taoist priest, for saving my wise brother's life. I, the Taoist, have no measure of people. It is my lifelong ambition to kill demons and defend the common people. I don't need to say thank you, a layman, Su Junming said calmly. The Taoist master is indeed a Taoist master. Taoist priest, this is the Yuhi and Yuzonglin I mentioned to you before. Han Bachin introduced. Su Junming nodded slightly. Judging from Yuhi's cultivation, he was much stronger than Han Bachin. The cultivation of martial arts has reached innate perfection. After the introduction, everyone walked into the house under the leadership of Yu He. The Yu family's house is quite spacious, with 3 courtyards in front and back, plus the 2 courtyards on the left and right, covering an area of 6 or 7 acres. Being able to own such a large courtyard in a prosperous town shows the strength of the Yu family. Come to the front yard and living room. Everyone was seated as guests and hosts, and the maid served tea. My dear brother, my escort team has traveled nearly 1,000 miles across mountains and rivers since they came out of Qiyun County, and they have not properly corrected themselves. Today, I came to your precious land. I want to stay for a few more days. I hope my dear brother can be accommodating. After a brief exchange of greetings, Han Bachin directly stated his intention. Based on the friendship between me and Brother Xian, in the past, it would have been a few months, let alone a few days. But today, I'm afraid I can't keep Brother Xian for too long. Why? He sighed heavily. Brother Xian doesn't know something. Since 7 days ago, ghost foxes have begun to appear in Yuejia town. Over the past 7 days, more than 30 people have died tragically in the entire town. Now people in Yuejia town are panicked, and families the house is closed. Those who have the means have already gone out to avoid disasters. If Xiaoyi hadn't been pregnant and about to give birth and couldn't travel far, I would have left here. Speaking of this matter, I also noticed when I came here that the entire Yuejia town is very deserted now. However, this place is not far from Dongchuanfukan. Even if the local government cannot handle it, within 7 days, the people who press the inspection department should have already arrived. Could it be that they can't control the ghost fox in Yuejia town? Han Bachin said. He shook his head with a heavy expression. The inspectors from Dongchuanfukan came here 4 days ago. Unfortunately, in the past 4 days, people are still dying in the entire Yuejia town, and the situation is getting heavier and heavier. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 707. The Ancha Division was the agency responsible for dealing with demons and ghosts in the Song dynasty. It would also arrest those practitioners who killed innocent people indiscriminately. Affiliated to the criminal department of the Song dynasty, it was powerful. When he heard that he couldn't even control Chaisai, Han Bachin's heart suddenly became heavier. But when he saw the green-robed Taoist with the old god next to him, he instantly remembered the scene where the other party killed the demon wolf. With a strong hope welling up in my heart, I blurted out. Taoist master, I wonder if you are sure to eliminate the evil spirits in this town. Han Yunzi and others sitting next to him were shocked and quickly turned their heads to look over, with a look of hope on their faces. After taking in all the expressions of everyone, Su Junming smiled faintly. It's just a monster, so I can easily capture it. That's great. Please ask the Taoist master to be merciful and take action to relieve the suffering in Yuejia town. Han Bachin stood up and clasped his fists, looking respectful. Although he doubted the strength of this man, looking at the expressions of Han Bachin and others, he felt somewhat hopeful. Stand up and clasp your fists as a salute. Please also ask the Taoist master to take action to relieve the pain of my Yuejia town. Regardless of success or failure, the 100,000 elders in Yuejia town will be grateful to the Taoist priest for his great kindness. Su Junming nodded slightly. Just wait a moment. Although he does not intend to use his huge spiritual consciousness to shock the world, it does not mean that he has no other means. With his current cultivation level, he could move the bronze mirror and see a place thousands of miles away. Huh? Taoist priest, is there anything wrong? Seeing the other party's eyes looking directly at him, he said in surprise. Nothing. Even so, under the clear light of the bronze mirror, 3 feet above Yuhi's head were 3 golden lotuses floating in the air. Su Junming knew very well what this was, and he was also a man of profound merit. However, he worked hard for 4 worlds to get enough 9 golden lotuses. But this Yuhi is just an ordinary person with a talent for martial arts, but he can actually have 3 golden lotuses of merit. You must know that the accumulation of merit is something that can be compared to a drop of water piercing a stone. With 100,000 meritorious deeds, there is only one black yellow chi on the top of the head. It takes millions of merits to get a golden flower. Thousands of merits can be gathered into a golden lotus. 3 golden lotuses are 30 million merit. Such huge merit made Su Junming instantly want to become a disciple. A disciple who gathers firewood and has great merits will not only benefit the master, but also enhance the fortune of the sect. However, he quickly suppressed his thoughts. Not only is it too abrupt to accept a disciple rashly, but there is also the risk of being rejected. And he was also curious, how could the other party have so many merits? You must know that Jiao Shaoxin, who has the most profound merit among his disciples, has accumulated 3 generations of medical practice all over the world, saved countless lives and injured, and is only a golden lotus. Silently urging the divine ball to deduce the past. His cultivation level is much higher than that of Yu He, so it is easy to get the result. It turns out that he was a good person in 9 generations. No wonder he accumulated so much merit. When everyone saw that he was silent and exuded a mysterious and astonishing aura, they all breathed softly and did not dare to come forward to disturb him. He looked deeply at Yu He. Could it be that he is the chance calculated by the divine ball of heaven and earth? Shaking his head slightly, his innate spiritual sense told him that there was another mystery. But this Yu He must be accepted as a disciple, even if it is just a registered disciple. Let's leave this matter to be dealt with later. Turning his eyes, the vast mirror light spread over the entire Yuejia town. Due to the mystery of the bronze mirror, let alone demons and ghosts, even the golden immortal cannot escape his eyes. Based on his expectations, Yuejia town was clean, and there was very little filthy air, let alone demonic and ghostly auras. If it's not above ground, it's underground. Looking down, you can see a lot of green and black aura in the dark soil. Demon energy. Su Junming, who destroyed the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain, was very familiar with this kind of aura. However, demonic energy is different from demonic energy. The demonic energy of Demon Lord Simo Ling is formed from the combined power of the 7 emotions and 6 desires, so it can be called the 7 emotional demonic energy. The demonic energy here is highly corrosive, and even through the light, Su Junming can feel a strong corpse odor. It is the rotten corpse demonic energy that is very common in demonic energy. The land under the Yuejia town is filled with a large amount of rotten corpse evil energy. Such an atmosphere is only troublesome to practitioners above the Golden Core realm, but not fatal. But for monks below the Golden Core realm, it is a big trouble. If you don't handle it well, you will be poisoned and die. And ordinary people, if they are contaminated by 1 or 2, they will die instantly. It seems that these demonic auras of rotting corpses are the reason for the frequent deaths of people in Yuejia town. However, although the demonic energy of rotting corpses is not rare, it is not common either. There must be a reason for the large number of people gathering under Yuejia town. Thinking of this, he urged the mirror light to continue downward, until about 30,000 feet deep underground, a rich green light came into view. At the end of the green light is a tyrannical restriction as dense as a spider web. What a great formation! He has mastered the formation method, and he can know the strength and weakness of a large formation just by looking at it. At this moment, the large underground formation in Yuejia town was no less than his 4-elephant sword formation and the life and death disillusionment 2-year mode formation obtained from Ime. Activate the mirror light to spread around. After about 1,000,000 miles, we saw the edge of this formation. With the coverage area of the top-grade immortal formation, 1,000,000 miles is not that big. In the middle of the formation, he saw a giant tree blooming with infinite spiritual light. The rich green wood energy transforms the endless spiritual energy into the power of sealing the formation. It turns out to be a 1 UN magic circle. After a brief realization, he activated the mirror light to penetrate the magic circle, and then two stone drums came into view. The stone drums are equal in size, with a diameter of more than 100 feet and a thickness of more than 30 feet. One side is black and the other side is white, entwined with rich pure yang energy and pure yin energy respectively. Using two stone drums as the formation eyes, a large formation was derived that was no weaker than the one UN formation just now. Lianji formation. With a thought in his heart, the bronze mirror light moved downward again. Four huge stone sculptures came into view. The green dragon entwined with the rich water vapor, the Suzaku entwined with the flame vapor, the white tiger filled with infinite wind spiritual power, and the Suanwu exuding the vast spiritual power of the earth. Using the four stone sculptures of mythical beasts as the formation eyes, they once again formed a large formation that was no weaker than the previous two fairy formations. Su Junming suddenly had a sudden realization in his mind. 1 UN generates two phenomena generates four images generate Bagua, and Bagua generates Zhou. In order to confirm his guess, he quickly urged the bronze mirror to continue downwards. Sure enough, a Bagua formation made of Kinkan Sunzan, Kanli Zhandui, and 8-sided stone mirrors, and a Zhou formation made of 365 huge stones appeared in front of them one after another. 5 arrays in a row, what a big deal, Su Junming was surprised. You must know that the boundary protecting formation he deployed in Chongshan world was only a 5-layer formation. Curiosity surged up in my heart uncontrollably. I want to see what it is that is worth blocking with the 5 major formations. The spiritual consciousness is attached to the mirror light and passes through the last level of the magic circle. In an instant, endless demonic thoughts came into my mind, and thousands of illusions swirled in my mind. Su Junming quickly used the mirror light to clear his mind and purify his thoughts, and only then did Su Junming see clearly. What was in the formation was not the precious magic weapon he had thought before, but the demonic aura of rotting corpses that was so rich that it almost turned into one piece. Seeing that this large array covers an area of millions of miles, it can be seen that the total amount of sealed demonic energy is huge. With such vast demonic energy, even Simoling, the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain, demon Luo Zhenjun, the demonic golden immortal, is thousands of times worse. How can there be such amazing demonic energy in the spiritual world? Su Junming was shocked. Subconsciously urging the mirror light to continue exploring deeper, the look of shock on his face became increasingly intense. Suddenly, a strange fluctuation was transmitted into the sea of consciousness along the mirror light. His brows furrowed momentarily. You guys stay here for a moment, I'll be back as soon as I can. After saying a word, without waiting for Han Bachan and Yu He to reply, they took a step and disappeared in an instant. This Taoist priest really has magical powers, Yu He exclaimed. With his innate and perfect state, he didn't even notice how the other party left. Don't worry, dear brother, with the help of Taoist Master Chongshan, the demons and ghosts in your Yuejia town will definitely be eliminated. Han Bachan vowed to do so. Yu He nodded and sighed inwardly, I hope so. But after seeing the Taoists escape just now, he gained some confidence. Let's talk about Su Junming. He urged Hu Tianshen to perform his magic and reached the outside of the formation in one step. With a thought in his heart, the celestial elephant divine gate flew out from the top door and instantly turned into a giant of 100 feet. Boom, the stone door opened, a vast suction force erupted, and the evil energy of the corpses underground in Yuejia town was instantly sucked up. As the natal treasure of Su Junming's space Dao, the celestial elephant gate, which has 10 innate spiritual restrictions, exploded with powerful divine power under his urging. Open. Su Junming's momentum exploded, and after 100 years, his magic power, which had reached the peak of Xianxian, exploded, and endless azure divine light surged out from inside the divine gate. Gradually, a black dot appeared from the periphery of the formation. The surging demonic energy of the corpse pours out along the space passage. He quickly activated the celestial elephant gate, collected the leaked demonic energy, transformed into a stream of light, and flew into the open space channel. When he reappeared, he was already in the solidified demonic aura of rotting corpses. Seeing the demonic energy in front of him, which was as vast as the deep ocean, Su Junming quickly used the bronze mirror to reflect back to the spiritual platform. In an instant, the demonic thoughts in my heart disappeared, and the spiritual platform was pure again. He breathed a sigh of relief. The moment he first entered, the demonic thoughts were hundreds of times more powerful than when he was on the ground looking at it with a bronze mirror. Moreover, this is the demonic energy of rotting corpses that is more toxic than the ability to confuse people. If it is replaced by the demonic energy of the 7 emotions that is specially designed to confuse people's minds, bronze mirrors must be used to guard the mourning platform. Otherwise, in this level of demonic energy, it is absolutely impossible to you will be hit instantly. The celestial elephant divine gate shed a lot of spiritual light, protecting itself, and also began to collect the demonic energy of the surrounding corpses. The demonic aura of rotting corpses is also a special aura formed by mixing the turbid air of the earth with the flesh and blood of living beings. If it can be refined, even if Su Junming can't use it, it will be a good supplement to Chongshan world. As the saying goes, you can't reach 1,000 miles without taking small steps. For Chongshan world, the most powerful life-saving trump card, we must never forget to strengthen it at any time. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 708. After breaking through the layers of demonic energy and going 1,000 miles deep, a giant pillar with a smooth surface appeared in front of him. This translucent black giant pillar looks like black emerald, with a diameter of more than 30,000 feet. Its shape is not straight up and down, but rather like an open embrace, curving to both sides. Of course, this kind of bending can only be seen by practitioners who are not afraid of the evil energy of rotting corpses and have the treasure of distant sight. In the eyes of ordinary people with limited vision, this giant pillar is just a piece of flat ground. It's as if people standing on the earth never feel that it is a sphere. Going up one side, 600 to 700,000 feet later, a black mountain range appeared in front of you. The previous giant pillar was firmly embedded in the black mountain range. This mountain range is extremely majestic, with a height of nearly 300,000 feet, and stretches toward the demonic energy on both sides. The left side is slightly shorter, about 2 million feet, the right side is slightly longer, about 2.9 million feet. However, at the end of the mountain range on the left is a larger, inverted cone-shaped black giant mountain. The mountain range is flat in the middle, with smooth downwards on both sides, followed by a valley larger than the Pacific Ocean. In the middle of the valley is a huge circular hole with a diameter of more than 90,000 feet. In the center of this huge black mountain, which was several times larger than the entire Earth in the memory of the previous life, stood a giant black cauldron that was 1,000 feet high. The surging suction force pulled in the demonic energy of the surrounding corpses, and rolled towards the giant cauldron. Under the cover of the tyrannical space power of the celestial elephant gate, Su Junming flew close. Soon, he saw a middle-aged man sitting cross-legged at the bottom of the giant cauldron, wearing a black robe and a lotus crown on his head. He was tall and thin, with a cold expression and his eyes closed. From him, Su Junming also felt the strong demonic energy. However, it is different from the rotting corpse demonic energy here, which is obviously corrosive and smells of corpses, but a killing demonic aura with powerful murderous intent. Any monk who cultivates this kind of demonic energy will kill tens of millions of people who have done many evil things. In particular, this person's cultivation was much stronger than that of Sima Ling, the demon ancestor of Taicheng Mountain who was captured by him at the beginning. His murderous aura was as strong as the scorching sun in the 9 heavens. Just the outward momentum gave Su Junming a tingling feeling like needles in his heart, which showed the weight of the killing in his body. Who? The middle-aged man opened his eyes instantly, and two rays of light cut through the demonic aura of rotting corpses around him, looking straight towards where Su Junming was. Su Junming knew that he, who was only at the peak of Xianxian in terms of qi refining cultivation, could not hide from Jingxian's divine thoughts. But he didn't want to hide it either. As soon as he opened the celestial elephant divine gate, his figure was revealed. Seeing his cultivation, most of the vigilant look on the middle-aged man's face disappeared instantly. You, a mysterious immortal, dare to go deep into this ancient demon-sealed place. You are really brave. He smiled calmly and shook his head slightly. I don't know about the ancient demon-sealed place. I only know that the innocent people in Yuejia town, thanks to you, their husbands lost their wives and their children lost their parents. The happiness they once had turned into panic and sorrow in an instant. The demonic energy of the rotten corpses sealed in this formation is too strong. Once someone breaks the formation, the demonic energy will leak out in large quantities. Even if it is not much, it is still deadly poison to ordinary people. Most of the demonic energy of rotting corpses underground in Yuejia town was leaked out when this person broke the formation. Haha, we are just ants, not to mention the 100,000 old and weak people in Yuejia town. It was at Yanmen Pass 100 years ago that I swallowed 300,000 soldiers of the Song dynasty in one bite. The middle-aged man looked sarcastic and spoke arrogantly. You are Zhou Pihong, the king of the southern court of Liao Kingdom? At the beginning, the clone he stayed in the inn killed the Daliao royal family's pursuers who were chasing Yelvshi. From their memories, he learned many secrets about the spiritual world, especially the Liao Kingdom. 100 years ago, the battle between Song and Liao at Yanmen Pass was one of them. It's me. Su Junming's eyes turned cold. Although I knew you deserved to die a long time ago, now it seems that you deserve to die. Death? Haha, there are tens of millions of monks in Chixian Shenzhou, which is hundreds of millions of miles away. Even the 5 heavenly emperors don't have the guts to say kill me, let alone you, a junior with a mere Xianxian cultivation level. After the laughter stopped, he snorted coldly. It is true that the ignorant are fearless. Forget it, let me show you how powerful I am. As soon as he finished speaking, he slapped Su Junming with a distant palm. In an instant, the wind and clouds surged, and the demonic energy of the rotting corpses exploded around them. A huge dark red palm that was thousands of feet long and extremely condensed, swatted down towards Su Junming as if Mount Tai was pressing down on it. The tyrannical momentum and the heartbreaking killing spirit did not change the color of Su Junming's face at all. With a thought in his heart, the celestial elephant gate instantly expanded several times. The stone door opened, and the endless darkness seemed to contain infinite space. In an instant, he took in the huge palm that could seriously injure Xianxian without any sound. Innate spiritual treasure? No wonder you dare to be so arrogant. Looking at the azure stone door suspended in heavy demonic aura, Zhou Pihong's face showed strong greed. Even in the Lingkong immortal world, innate spiritual treasures are important treasures that only a few major sects can possess. You slapped me, now it's my turn to slap you. Junior, don't think that with the innate spiritual treasure protecting you, I can't do anything to you. Su Junming smiled calmly. I don't need the innate spiritual treasure to deal with you. After finishing his words, he slowly raised his right palm, and a sky-blue divine pattern appeared. It was as if a gigantic beast had awakened from a deep sleep, with astonishing energy and blood rising into the sky from its body that was only 9 feet tall. The hot masculine energy and blood pushed out the surrounding rich demonic energy of the rotten corpses by nearly 10,000 feet. Seeing this scene, Zhou Pihong was shocked. Not good. Boom. After the shocking loud noise, an indescribably shocking giant palm, like a huge world, pressed down heavily. Pan Tuo divine palm. Zhou Pihong's eyes widened in anger and his halberd pointed upward. Black Dragon Cauldron. Boom, as he sat down in the giant cauldron with black ears and 4 legs, an earth-shattering dragon roar suddenly sounded in an instant. A black dragon of 10,000 feet roared towards the giant palm with majestic momentum. The black dragon was unparalleled in strength, but under its huge palm that was as huge as a small world, it was crushed like a small insect in an instant. Impossible. In Zhou Pihong's unbelievable eyes, the giant palm suddenly fell. Everything falls silent. After the palm returned to normal, the miserable figure frowned slightly. After 100 years of hard training, his physical body has reached the perfection of a top-grade military commander. As long as he wants, he can go through the martial arts tribulation at any time. As for the understanding of the way of space, he has already entered the Tai realm. The combination of the two creates the Pantuo divine palm through enlightenment. Already has the power to dominate the world. It's a pity that it's just a clone. Tens of millions of miles away, in the center of the boundless prairie, a towering giant mountain suddenly rises. Above the white clouds, on the mountaintop covered with ice and snow, shrouded in vast tracts of sunlight, a gorgeous temple built entirely of white boulders stands proudly. In a magnificent palace in the huge palace, Zhou Pihong, who was wearing a gorgeous purple robe, had a huge change in his expression. Click, the jade cup in his hand was crushed to pieces in an instant. The sudden noise instantly attracted the attention of everyone around him. Brother Zhou, what's wrong with you? A middle-aged man wearing a gorgeous white robe, a high crown on his head, and a jade belt around his waist asked. My Dharma body fell into the ancient demon-sealed place. Zhou Pihong's tone was filled with resentment. What? Everyone changed their color. Did the old immortal from Tianxi Dao take action? The middle-aged man wearing a green python robe and a golden crown with a majestic aura asked next to him. The ancient demon sealing place is the closest to the celestial master Taoist dojo, so it's no wonder he asked this question. Shaked his head. No, he is a human master wearing a blue Taoist robe. He is also a master of both martial arts and Taoism, and his martial arts cultivation is particularly strong. He is probably at the peak of a top-grade general. The atmosphere in the palace was quiet. Brother Zhou, you are not mistaken, are you? I have searched the entire Qi County and China, but there is not a single martial arts practitioner who has reached the level of a top-grade general. The man in white robe hesitated. I also hope I am wrong, but my Dharmakaya fell there. Zhou Pihong looked ugly, but he had cultivated the Dharmakaya for nearly 10,000 years, and the resources consumed were unimaginable. The result was that he fell. It hurt so much that his heart bled. Then the Black Dragon Cauldron, the national treasure of our great Jin kingdom, has also been lost. The man with the golden crown said coldly. Wan Yenzhen, what do you mean? Your Black Dragon Cauldron is a loss, but my Dharmakaya is not, Zhou Pihong said angrily. Who knows if you are fabricating lies and secretly plotting to seize our Black Dragon Divine Cauldron? Zhou Pihong, who was in anger, had a distorted face. With a boom, the jade chair under his seat shattered into pieces, and surging murderous demonic energy shot into the sky. Wan Yanzhen, you are seeking death. Looking at Zhou Pihong, who was so angry that he seemed to be erupting like a volcano, the extremely tyrannical evil spirit turned into the illusion of a 10,000-foot-long unicorn. Huh, I'm afraid you won't make it. Roar. Ouch. Accompanied by a domineering roar and a desolate wolf howl. The illusion of a blue giant tiger and a 10-foot-long heavenly wolf, like two giant knives, were instantly inserted into the middle of the two of them. You two, calm down. The man wearing a purple python robe, with a long beard on his chin, elegant temperament and a unicorn illusion on his head said angrily. Young Prime Minister Wanyan, I promise you in the name of the wolf god that the king of Nanyuan will never covet your country's national treasure, the man in white robe said solemnly. Right, Prime Minister, the entire Qi County China knows that the Black Dragon Cauldron is the treasure of our kingdom of Jin. Even if we get it, we will be hunted by thousands of monks from our kingdom of Jin. I believe that the king of the South Academy will never be so unwise, the man in robe said solemnly. Wang Yanzhen's eyes flashed, as he was an old rival for many years. He is very familiar with Zhou Pihong's character. Seeing how angry he looked just now, you knew he wasn't lying. It better be so. After finishing speaking in a cold voice, his breath calmed down and he sat down again. Okay, everyone, sit down. This time we are discussing how to deal with De Song. Don't let our own people fight first. The man in white robe greeted with a smile. Become a disciple of Taoist priest Four Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 709. Chapter 691, Huge Bones, Golden Winged Dapen. Zhou Pihong, who knew the importance of Jin and Liao's plan to jointly carve up the northern part of the Song dynasty, took a deep breath, waved his sleeves, and the previously damaged jade chair instantly recovered. He sat down with an ugly face. Brother Zhou, can you use the round light technique to show the appearance of the monk who took the Black Dragon Cauldron? We can also see who among us knows him, the man in purple robe said. Zhou Pihong nodded. With a finger, ripples appeared in the void, and a water mirror slowly condensed into shape. The demonic aura of the rotting corpses in the mirror is rampant. Even if it is just an image, people can clearly feel the overbearing toxicity of the rotting corpses in it. Gradually, a majestic stone gate with a height of 1,000 feet, 6 huge divine patterns engraved in relief, and azure color appeared in front of the four people. Zhou Pihong was cautious and did not fully reveal the details of the Azure God sect. This is an innate spiritual treasure. Although he knows that the owner is amazingly powerful and the chance of getting it is slim, as long as there is an opportunity, he also wants to take it for himself. Gradually, a tall figure condensed on top of the stone gate. Through the round light technique, one can clearly sense the energy and blood rising from his body. However, just when his face was about to become clear, an inexplicable aura dispersed, and the whole picture collapsed instantly. The expressions of the four people changed. Everyone felt the inexplicable aura that finally broke the round light technique. The art of cause and effect. The man in purple robe hesitated. After pondering for a moment, the man in white robe shook his head. I'm quite familiar with the cause and effect technique of those monks, but it's definitely not like that just now. It's a seal. Wang Yanzhen said calmly. I have some experience in the way of sealing. The aura just now was a seal. However, this person's understanding of the way of sealing is extremely profound. He sealed his own appearance. Unless he is willing, no one can leave his figure. Martial arts are powerful, and he is proficient in sealing. He is indeed a master of both martial arts and martial arts, the man in white robe said solemnly. In my opinion, the four of us should immediately go to the Song dynasty together to kill this person, recapture the Black Dragon Cauldron, and collect enough demonic energy of the rotting corpse, Wang Yanzhen said. Haha, yes. Then it was discovered that the king of the South Court and the king of the North Court of the Liao dynasty, and the left and right ministers of the Jin kingdom joined forces to fight against the enemy. By the way, it confirmed that the two countries merged and conspired with the Song dynasty. It just happened. Let them prepare early. Zhou Pihong's face was full of sarcasm. Wang Yanzhen was furious when he heard this, but he quickly tolerated it. He also knew that his thinking was a bit simplistic. As the golden immortals of the Jin and Liao kingdoms, and the pillars of a country in charge of the political power of a country, the four of them are watched by the golden immortals of other countries for their every move. Not to mention four people going out together, even if one of them leaves, it will attract the attention of others. Especially the ancient demon-sealed place, not far from Longhu Mountain where the celestial master Dao is located. The old celestial master Zhang Chongyang has reached the late golden immortal stage, and his strength is all over the world. He is the most advantageous candidate to compete for the fifth Yellow Emperor's throne. One of the candidates. With their cultivation level, he was afraid that the four of them would be discovered by him before they reached the demon-sealed land. The Jin and Liao families colluded with the Song dynasty. This is a plan we have been planning for many years. Now that we have reached a critical moment, we must not give up. As for the Black Dragon Cauldron, we will put it aside for the time being. When the plan is successful, it will not be too late to get it back. The man in purple robes, Aruhan, the left prime minister of the kingdom of Jin, said in a deep voice. Hearing what he said, Zhou Pihong and the white-robed man Yelaki, the king of the north court of Liao kingdom, didn't have much to say. After all, the kingdom of Jin is the sufferer of the Black Dragon Cauldron. What to do with the demonic energy of the corpse? Without it, how can we shake the dragon vein of the Song dynasty? Wan Yanzhen said in a deep voice. This matter is simple. You and I have many slaves in our hands. After killing them, we can refine them with our Liao kingdom's most important treasure, the demon transformation pool, which will be enough to collect enough demonic energy. If it is not enough, let your subordinates go. And the Song dynasty and Xixia were threshing grass and valleys, Yelaki said with a smile. It's just that the smile contains a chilling ferocity and murderous intent. Without enough slaves to herd sheep and horses, the strength of our two countries will probably drop a lot, Aruhan said. Haha, the left prime minister is overthinking. As long as the plan succeeds and we seize the territory of the Song dynasty, we can have as many slaves as we want. That's what Brother Yellow said. After Zhou Pihong and Wan Yanzhen thought about it for a while, they agreed. A few simple words from four people can determine the life or death of hundreds of millions of people. The thick demonic energy of the rotting corpse was like an angry wave, violently colliding with the surrounding restrictions. 5 formations of Yaiwan, Lianji, Sixiang, Bagua, and Zhoutian were connected, bursting out with heavy rays of light, tightly suppressing the demonic energy in the middle. Seeing the ocean of demonic energy disturbed by his Pantuo divine palm, Su Junming activated the celestial elephant divine gate. In an instant, the light surged, and the huge gate tens of thousands of feet in size suddenly opened. It seemed as if a huge world had opened up, and the surging demonic energy of the corpse seemed to have found an exit in an instant. Just like a river flowing into the sea, it roars, surges, and rolls into it. Gradually, the demonic energy of the rotting corpses that impacted the formation gradually calmed down and became weaker and weaker. Since the incarnation of the 10 innate spiritual barriers, the space within the celestial elephant gate has grown to be 90 million miles long. The demonic energy of these rotting corpses enters it and cannot even fill 1% of the space. However, as the demonic energy became less and less, until it disappeared, the huge black mountain Su Junming sat on also revealed his complete figure. However, this is not a mountain, but a huge black skeleton. It's unimaginable that something could grow so big. It is nearly 7 million feet long from beginning to end, and 6 million feet long from left to right. The tip of the skull is extremely sharp, and even after tens of millions of years have passed, it still shines with a captivating cold light. The claws are like hooks, and the sight is frightening. This is a bird bone. After observing for a moment, Su Junming understood. With such a huge figure, it should be a sacred bird like a rock. It's hard to imagine that it would die here. After sighing slightly, I felt inexplicably emotional. Although it is not necessarily accurate that the larger the body, the stronger the strength, but this is the case for most ancient mythical beasts. Looking at the size of this daepan, if it is full of flesh and bones, it would be nearly 10 million feet long. With such a huge body, it is definitely the top power in the Tai realm. With such tyrannical strength, death is still inevitable, which makes Su Junming's mood a bit complicated. After becoming a top-grade military commander, most of his pride in looking down on the people of the world disappeared instantly. After gathering his mood, Su Junming took a step forward and came to the left eye area. The diameter of the eye socket is 30,000 feet, equivalent to half of the Pacific Ocean. It's unimaginable that an eyeball can be so huge. After flying into it and going 200,000 feet deep, the surrounding area became completely dark. This is an extreme darkness, without any light present, and the eye sockets disappeared when it came in. In this boundless darkness, if one's mind is not strong enough, it is easy to become upset and angry, leading to obsession. Even if one has enough Xingxing, who can endure darkness for a long time? What a powerful formation! If I hadn't had a bronze mirror that could illuminate me thousands of miles away, I would have been lost in this dead darkness. Looking at the complicated formations spread over the entire head, with numerous restrictions, Su Junming closed his eyes and began to comprehend. I don't know how much time passed, but my hands suddenly started to dance. The seals condensed into a powerful white aura. Open. A loud drink. The spiritual light burst forward, and gradually, the endless darkness gained color, and an illusory golden portal appeared in front of him. Su Junming took one step forward. The color in front of my eyes changed instantly. A faint red light enveloped the surrounding space of 300,000 miles. Looking in the direction of the light, a gigantic egg that was 10,000 feet tall and black in color came into view. Next to the giant egg, there is a sharp spear of similar length, with a silvery body and a long tassel like fire, like a giant pillar. It was the red tassel's light that illuminated this huge space that was supposed to be the Penganiao Sea of Consciousness. Slowly flew 100 feet in front of the giant egg. The egg shell is like a giant mountain, the whole is black and gray, with strange divine patterns looming on the surface. With the help of the divine light of the bronze mirror, it can be seen that under the solid eggshell, the thick slurry has completely transformed into a rich demonic aura of rotting corpses. In the middle of the slurry, there was a bird with a kun head and a beak, and 1,200-foot feathers on the top of its head, growing into a shape similar to a crown. The body is like an eagle, but the claws have 5 fingers. The tail feathers are slender, but not too long like a phoenix, only about half of the body. Garuda winged rock. Su Junming was amazed in his heart. In the past, he had only read brief introductions about this ancient divine beast in some ancient books. This is the first time to really see it. However, looking at the golden winged rock with its dark feathers and devilish aura all over its body, it was obvious that it had penetrated deeply into the path of evil and no longer had the essence of an ancient divine beast. Call out. As if he was aware of Su Junming's gaze, a long and violent roar was transmitted into his sea of consciousness. He frowned and shook his head. This rock egg is obviously the child of the dead golden winged rock. Therefore, knowing that she was bound to die, she placed the egg in her sea of consciousness, and built a defensive array based on the toughest head, which had many magical functions such as hiding and gathering spirits. However, God's calculation is not as good as man's calculation. This golden winged rock was supposed to absorb the spiritual energy of China from Chixian County and turn into a bird. Because the formation used to protect the eggs is so superb that no one has discovered it for thousands of years. So when his physical body decayed, it merged with the turbid air of the earth and turned into a carrion demonic air as rich as the sea. The cultivators from Chixian Shenzhou were sealed in the formation together with their eggs. 5 series of seals completely cut off the spiritual energy from the outside world. In order to be born, this rock egg instinctively absorbs the surrounding demonic energy to support its body. After thousands of years, a good divine beast turned into a corpse monster. With a finger, mana poured into the silver gun next to him. After a brief practice, the Bei's hang silver spear shrank in an instant and flew into Su Junming's hand. This 2-foot-long silver gun can be considered lucky. The demonic energy of the rotting corpse on the periphery was absorbed by the rock egg, but it survived. However, due to the lack of spiritual energy support for a long time, it is inevitable that the grade will drop again. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 710. Chapter 692, Xian Huang Merit Ruler, a secret that cannot be violated. Divine consciousness immersed. 12 complete restrictions were reflected in the sea of consciousness, and traces of 12 remaining restrictions were also found in it. Obviously, when this silver spear was at its peak, it was a top-notch killing immortal treasure. Hold the gun barrel and wave it casually. A pitch-black crack appeared in mid-air instantly. Looking at the slowly disappearing space cracks and the silver gun puffing out cold light. As expected, it is indeed the immortal treasure it once was. It is so sharp. Boom, the dome next to it shook. The carrion demon rock inside saw that its accompanying fairy weapon was taken away, and it instantly became furious. It's just a cub that hasn't transformed yet. It's not a fairy. It's quite temperamental. As soon as he activated the celestial elephant divine gate, he put away the rock egg and turned around to exit the sea of consciousness space. When I came outside, I looked at the remains of Dapen crawling in the formation space, like giant mountains. With a finger, the celestial elephant gate expanded rapidly, becoming millions of feet tall in an instant. The overwhelming power of swallowing enveloped the mountain-like remains of the Dapen, and slowly sucked it in. This rock bone is extremely hard and was originally an excellent material for refining weapons. Unfortunately, it has been invaded by demonic energy for thousands of years and has turned into demon bone. It can only be used after the evil spirit has been eliminated. After everything was done, Su Junming felt a huge power of merit coming to him. If the demonic energy formed by the decay of demon corpses in the Tai Golden Immortal Realm explodes, a radius of 90 million miles will instantly turn into a demonic realm. Billions of living beings will turn into monsters. Now that he has restrained his demonic energy and eliminated this cancer that is hidden deep underground and will break out at any time, he will naturally have boundless merits. With a thought in my heart, I reflected myself in the bronze mirror. But I saw 9 golden lotuses on the top of my head, located in 9 directions, slowly rotating. Suddenly, a black and yellow energy fell down, which was the merit of heaven and earth. After absorbing the merits of this feedback from heaven and earth, the golden lotus began to slowly merge. Gradually, a yellow jade ruler 3 feet and 3 inches long, 3 inches and 3 inches wide, and 3 inches and 3 centimeters thick took shape. This jade ruler has the sun, moon, heaven, and earth inscribed on one side, and dragons and phoenixes on the other, immortals, Buddhas, ghosts and gods. Although it is just an illusion of merit and attainment, it exudes infinite mystery. At the moment when the jade ruler was condensed, an indescribable mysterious aura sank into Su Jun's sea of consciousness. In an instant, he felt that his mind was empty, the heaven secrets were clear, and the great road was right in front of him. Subconsciously, he activated the bronze mirror to understand the mysterious world. Countless secrets that were obscure in the past are clearly reflected in the sea of consciousness. The 9-foot Qingyun slowly emerged from the Beihui point above the head and spread slowly 3 feet above. In the middle of Qingyun, a 9-grade green lotus the size of a water tank bloomed with a hazy green light. On the lotus platform, in the middle is a goose egg-sized, round Tao fruit that scatters immeasurable light. Pan Tuo Divine Spear, Tiangong Divine Furnace, Tianji Divine Ball, Creation Spirit Pool, Sankei Divine Gate, Heavenly Thunder Drum, and a golden basin with many precious lights inside are flying around. In the Tao fruit, there are dots of stars, which seem to contain endless worlds. If you go deep into it, you can see a mysterious and majestic but rusty bronze mirror occupying the center like an ancient mountain. Surrounded by 12 imaginary or real powerful talismans. These 12 talismans represent the 12 most profound Taoist methods that Su Junming has understood. Space Dao, Soul Dao, Tiangong Dao, Earth Emperor Dao, Heavenly Emperor Dao, Human Emperor Dao, Martial Arts, Yin and Yang Dao, Creation Dao, Sword Dao, Sacred 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 Sword Deo, Ceiling Dao, 5 Elements Dao. Coupled with the nearly 1,000 large and small talismans around him, it was the result of his 500 years of practice. The mysterious world of martial arts, the mysterious world of swordsmanship, reach the extreme of emptiness, keep quiet, and all things will return to their roots. After the 23-character Dao mantra manifested in the sea of consciousness, the martial arts and swordsmanship among the 12 talismans began to merge. Gradually the martial arts talismans become richer, stronger, and more permanent. The human-shaped martial arts talisman became more and more majestic. Suddenly, a crimson longsword slowly formed behind it, and at the same time, a sword intent to kill demons, like a volcano erupting, quickly became stronger. Pantuo Divine Sword. A sudden realization came to my mind. After the longsword was completely solidified, a great joy filled Su Junming's heart. Just when he was about to take the opportunity to understand the other avenues, the clear secrets quickly disappeared and the avenue became obscure again. Unspeakable loss came to my heart. After sighing heavily, Su Junming slowly opened his eyes. Although he knows that this improvement in understanding is a rare opportunity for him, and he has gained a lot, but because he has gained so much, he becomes even more reluctant to let go when he loses it. Fortunately, I had experienced it many times before. After taking a deep breath, I slowly calmed down. Examine Danshin again. Seeing the vacated position after the fusion of martial arts and kendo, I quickly became happy. Finally, we can incorporate the way of devouring into the 12 fundamental avenues. I originally thought that when the Emperor of Heaven, the Emperor of Earth, and the Emperor of Humanity merged, the vacant positions would be given to the way of devouring. Unexpectedly, the way of the 3 emperors has not yet appeared, and martial arts and swordsmanship have merged first. What an unexpected surprise! Now that Gai Te I can finally practice with confidence. After letting go of one worry, look at the martial arts talisman again. It has an illusory human shape as a whole, and it is emitting 2 strange lights at this moment. One is the pale green right palm, and the other is the new sword on the back that is as red as blood. This represents the 2 great magical powers of martial arts that he has comprehended. Pantuo Divine Palm and Pantuo Divine Sword. The former is domineering, the latter is sharp. Su Junming had a vague understanding of the power of the Pantuo Divine Sword, but he still needed to use it to find out what it really was. Use the bronze mirror to look at the bright yellow jade ruler suspended above your head. A Xian Huang merit ruler with 100 million merits is indeed a huge amount of merit. Although the Xian Huang merit ruler's improvement in understanding is no longer what it was before, it still has 1/10 of the effect it had at the beginning. Don't underestimate it, but over time, your cultivation level will become higher and higher, turning mediocre people into monastic geniuses. More importantly, with this black and yellow merit ruler, you can protect your mind, get rid of inner demons, and protect your path. Of course, it can also make the owner have long-lasting good fortune and prosperous luck. There are many benefits. After a moment of realization, Su Junming frowned. No, I cleared away the countless demonic auras of rotting corpses here and saved the lives of hundreds of millions of people. Do I only have tens of millions of merits? According to past experience, he only needs to gather one more golden lotus of merit to form a black and yellow merit ruler. One golden lotus of merit is worth thousands of merits. Use the heavenly orb to deduce the merits and demerits. Hey, why is Tianji so chaotic? He raised his eyebrows and looked slightly cold. I want to see who is causing trouble. Sitting cross-legged, the heavenly secret divine ball flew out from the danshin and instantly turned into a 3-foot-long giant. Su Junming pressed his hand seals, and countless spiritual lights flew into the divine ball. The celestial sphere, shaped like an armillary sphere, rotated rapidly. The blue light ball inside is like a galaxy in the universe, contracting and expanding as if breathing. At this moment, Su Junming's understanding of the Tao of Destiny has reached the golden immortal realm, and the heavenly secret divine ball is a low-grade innate spiritual treasure of the Tao of Destiny. When the two are combined, the power that explodes is definitely the result of 1 plus 1 being greater than 2. The scattered secrets were gradually sorted out. But soon, an obvious resistance surged forward. A simple tortoise-shell phantom flew in the sky and scattered most of the secrets straightened out by the divine sphere. Luo Shu. No, it's just a top-quality immortal weapon that was modeled after Luo Shu. After understanding the details, Su Junming continued to activate the Tianji divine ball to compete with it. At the same time, on the east side of Shenzhou in Chixian County, deep in the Jin Kingdom's holy mountain Qinbei Mountain, in the magnificent world of Sumina Mustard Seed, a middle-aged man wearing a golden robe with a majestic aura slowly opened his eyes. There seemed to be infinite mystery in his deep gaze. He reached out and pointed, and on the upper right corner of the long white jade table in front of him, a simple stone box was opened. Inside was a piece of tortoise shell that was the size of an adult's palm and extremely simple. At this moment, it is exuding hazy green flowers, with countless divine patterns appearing, emerging, and dying, as if a fierce war is going on in the dark. The man's expression changed, and his consciousness soaked in. In an instant, a blue-white ball of light struck with great force. Although it was silent, it shook my eardrums and made my mind uneasy. An innate spiritual treasure-level heavenly weapon. The man was shocked. Seeing the blue-white light ball striking again, the man didn't care about anything else and quickly activated his magic power to cooperate with Luo Shu to deal with the enemy. The two sides clashed for a while, but in the end it was an undefeated draw. No, to be precise, the man in gold robe lost a bit. Because God's will is with him. Reaching out and taking back the divine ball, Su Junming shook his head. If Chixian Shenzhou Tiandao hadn't instinctively confused Tianji, he would have definitely been able to defeat the person behind Luo Shu. But even so, he got what he wanted. Well. He sighed heavily. I won't kill Boran, but Boran will die because of me. Because he obtained the Black Dragon Cauldron, the treasure of the Jin Kingdom, the plan of the two countries failed, which forced them to kill hundreds of millions of sentient beings to make up for the lack of demonic energy. Without his intervention, none of this would have happened. Of course, this huge cause and effect must be recorded on his head. If he hadn't cleared away the rotten corpse evil energy accumulated in this place for hundreds of millions of years, and had done so much good deeds, I'm afraid there would have been no merit. Su Junming looked up at the sky with a cold expression. Come to think of it, everything is your fault. What a great secret that cannot be violated. Put away the secret divine ball and continue to activate the bronze mirror. The past cannot be changed, and now he still has 5 levels of formation to deal with. Without the demonic energy of the rotting corpse, the 5 major formations that originally sealed it naturally no longer needed to exist. Who is this person? He actually has such a profound realm of magic. The man in gold robe looked at the tortoise shell that had regained its composure, with a look of surprise and uncertainty. If it weren't for heaven's help, he would definitely lose in this fight. Somebody come. A general in golden armor instantly appeared in the center of the hall, kneeling on one knee with a respectful expression. See your majesty. You take my golden order and tell Wan Yanzhen and Aliahan that there is a secret magic in the Song dynasty, which is no less powerful than mine, so they should be careful. As you command. The golden armor general raised his hands above his head, and a golden light flew towards him, turning into a token that was more than a foot long and 3 inches wide, completely golden and engraved with the divine pattern of the word Green Emperor in the middle. Holding the golden order, he took a few steps back and disappeared instantly. Looking at the empty hall, the man in golden robe frowned. The hidden dragon and crouching tiger of China in Chixian County should not be underestimated. The battle between the 5 emperors after 1,000 years will be very exciting to watch. He shook his head slowly, closed his eyes, and calm returned to the hall again. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 711. Receive. Su Junming suddenly drank. The spiritual light of the great array surged. After a few moments, the light dissipated and turned into fireflies all over the sky. Hundreds of streams of light flew towards Su Junming's palm, which was the treasure that was originally used to set up the formation. Although these treasures can only be used to set up formations, the spiritual energy gathered over thousands of years to suppress the demonic energy of the golden-winged rock corpse has already reached the pinnacle of this world. No matter Su Junming plans to use it to refine treasures or rearrange the formation, it is an excellent treasure. It is a rare opportunity to acquire hundreds of top-quality fairy materials. Looking at the vast underground space around him, which was millions of miles long, Su Junming stretched out his hand and pointed. In an instant, infinite earth-yellow spiritual energy rolled in from all directions. The most indispensable thing under the earth is the spiritual energy of earth. In about an hour, millions of miles of space were filled. After gathering his magic power, he breathed a sigh of relief. You don't have to worry about earthquakes now. Without the support of the formation, the millions of miles of space underground would easily collapse. If it is not dealt with in time, you may one day be burdened with karma and lose countless merits. After taking one last look at the vast underground that brought him a great opportunity, he took a step forward, activated Hu Tianshen to perform his magic, and arrived at Yuejia town in an instant. Since he eliminated the troubles caused by monsters and ghosts and stopped frequent deaths, Yuejia town has also returned to its former prosperity. Because it is close to the official road, it gathers merchants traveling from south to north. The streets are full of cars and horses. Traffickers and pawns, literati and poets, old men and young women, all crowded together. Looking at this prosperous market, Su Junming smiled faintly and walked towards Yu's house. It's still the same old mansion door, but now the Yu family courtyard door is wide open, and several young men in coarse cloth and blue clothes are busy working hard. There were hundreds of beggars in shabby clothes standing in a long queue nearby, their heads sticking out, looking straight ahead, their throats loose, and they swallowed frequently. The rich aroma of porridge and rice envelops the surrounding area for hundreds of meters. Obviously, the Yu family is doing a lot of good deeds to help the poor. He nodded secretly in his heart. No wonder I can accumulate so much merit. Stepping forward, the old housekeeper, who was watching the boys giving out porridge and rice, was stunned for a moment when he saw the green-robed Taoist striding forward with a bamboo stick and a green gourd hanging on his waist. He quickly wiped his eyes and looked again. After making sure he saw it correctly, his face showed joy. He quickly took 2 steps forward. Taoist Master Chongshan, is it really you? Su Junming smiled lightly. I haven't seen you for 3 years, but the old housekeeper still has his charm. Thanks to Taoist Master Hongfu, we have been relieved of the hardships in Yuejia town, so that we can be healthy and old. After he finished speaking with gratitude, Taoist Master, are you here to show off my master? Is Master Yu at home? Su Junming smiled and nodded. Here, the Taoist priest stands ready to invite you. He enthusiastically welcomed Su Junming to the living room in the front yard and ordered his servants to serve him some fragrant tea. Taoist Master, wait a moment. I will report to you right now. I think I will be very happy if I know that you are back. In the backyard, Yu, who was wearing a white robe and a jade belt around his waist, was looking seriously at the little boy wearing a green cloth short coat next to him, walking with his horse. The latter's little face was still stained with tears, and he had obviously cried long ago. The little mouth was pursed tightly, and there was an endearing stubbornness on the chubby little face. Although his legs have begun to tremble, his posture is still standard. Master, it's been a quarter of an hour, let's Yang arrest. The woman next to him, wearing a light blue sarong, with a silver hairpin in her hair, and a thin layer of makeup on her pretty face, walked over from the corridor with a distressed look on her face. You are already pregnant with Lyogia. If you don't rest in the room, what are you doing out there? He quickly went over to support his wife. It's too stuffy in the room. Let's go out for a walk and relax. Besides, it's only been 4 months and I haven't shown my pregnancy yet, so I'm not tired. After a pause, Master, let's Yang arrest. He has just turned 3 years old. Even if you want to lay a foundation for him, going too far is not enough. Looking at his son who was already a little pale on his face, he felt a little distressed. After a slight hesitation, he nodded. The tone is majestic. Okay, that's it for today, get up. Yu Xiang breathed a sigh of relief. After his strength relaxed, he felt his legs were weak and his body unconsciously fell to the side. A figure flashed forward. Feeling the strong arms behind him, Yu Xiang quickly turned his head, and what came into view was his father's majestic face. He quickly stood up straight. Daddy. After nodding slightly, let's go and lie down in the room, and Daddy will stretch your muscles. When the two men were about to go to the room, the old housekeeper suddenly ran in a hurry. Master, Master. Coming closer, he took a breath and said, Sir, Taoist Master Chongshan is here. Taoist Chongshan? Taoist Chongshan. When he came back to his senses, his expression suddenly changed. But Taoist Master Chongshan who eliminates demons for our family town. Exactly. The old housekeeper nodded quickly. He's there. I arranged it in the front yard and living room. Come on, take me there quickly. Looking at his father leaving in a hurry, Yu Xiang turned his head. Mom, who is Taoist Master Chongshan? A very capable practitioner. Mrs. Yao smiled and touched her son's little head. More powerful than Dad. In his little heart, his father's martial arts is the most powerful. Mom doesn't know either. Come on, Mom will take you to the room to wash up. Shake off Mother's hand. No, Dad said. After doing the horse stance, the most important thing is to stretch the muscles and bones, otherwise it will damage the body. As soon as he finished speaking, he ran towards the room. Mom, I'm going to stretch first. I'll take a shower after stretching. Run slowly, be careful not to fall. New. Seeing her son's strong little figure disappearing around the corner, Mrs. Yao had a happy smile on her face. There is no better life than a loving husband and wife, a strict father and a filial son. He took the old housekeeper and hurried to the front yard. As soon as he entered the living room and saw the familiar figure, Yuhi's face showed joy. Take 3 steps forward and bow to the end. Yuhi, thank you, Taoist priest Chongshan, for relieving my Yuegia town from the hardships. No need to be polite, just get up. After Yuhi stood up, they sat down respectively as guest and host. Taoist priest, since you left, no one has died innocently due to demons in Yuegia town. I just don't know why there has been no news after 3 years since you left. The disaster in Yuegia town is so serious that it is beyond my imagination. 3 years ago, we just cleaned up the inside and outside, so that no one in Yuegia town would be innocently victimized. It took 3 years to completely eliminate the root cause. That's it? Taoist and virtuous people should be worshipped by Yuhi 3 times. With a wave of his big sleeves, an invisible force supported Yuhi. Pandeo has always taken rescuing the poor as his mission and eliminating demons and defending the Tao as his belief. Even if Pandeo encounters the hardships in Yuegia town without your request, he will not sit idly by and ignore them. The Taoist master is indeed a Taoist master, a kind elder, and Yuhi admires him. After Pandeo left, what happened to the people in the Golden Tiger escort agency? They waited here for half a month for the Taoist master. Later, because the escort could not delay any longer, they had no choice but to leave. However, in the next 3 years, Brother Han Bachin sent letters every month asking about the Taoist priest. The escort when passing by, "I will stay for a few days." Su Junming smiled. After not seeing each other for 3 years, Han Bachin might have thought that something unexpected had happened to him. But it's not easy to say this kind of thing in person. Cursing people to death is disrespectful. He didn't want to go into details. He smiled calmly, glanced at him, and got back to the topic. "Yu He, I see that your cultivation has already reached innate perfection. Why don't you take a step further by breaking through the golden elixir?" Reply to the Taoist priest: "The technique I practice is only the broken jade fist passed down by my Yu family. The highest level is the innate perfection. Even if I want to go further, I don't have the technique, so there's nothing I can do about it." Speaking of his heartache, Yu He sighed heavily. His helplessness is also the helplessness of many casual cultivators. Without skills, and unlike Su Junming, who can use a bronze mirror to comprehend on his own, he can only sit in the city of sleep and waste time. "I see, you haven't thought about becoming a disciple." "Of course I have thought about it. But I got married early and am no longer a Yuan Yang person, so I was rejected by several sects in Dongchuan Mansion. It has been a long time, and I have given up the idea of becoming a disciple." After nodding his head clearly. "Are you willing to become your teacher?" "Apprenticeship?" Yu He was stunned. Su Junming smiled and nodded. "I noticed that you have a very good character and are quite qualified, so I thought of accepting a disciple. If you are willing, I will accept you as a disciple and teach you the Taoism. As long as you practice hard in the future, it will be easy to become an immortal and an ancestor." Yu He took a breath and calmed down. "Taoist master, as I said before, I am no longer the body of Yuan Yang." After interrupting him. "It doesn't matter, my technique does not belong to Yuan Yang, and it does not emphasize the need to be a virgin. So you don't need to worry." Yu He nodded and thought for a moment. "Dare I ask how Chang Xiu is? But from which family are you coming?" Facing the road of self-cultivation that is just around the corner, he can still remain calm, which shows his determination. After smiling in recognition, "I am the founder of Chongshan Academy." "As for cultivation, what is the highest level of cultivation you know?" As soon as the 4 words founder came out, Yu He's heart was shaken. After hearing what was said next, Wei Wei thought about it. "Fairy." Su Jun understood clearly. There are 4 realms of immortals, which are called heavenly immortals, true immortals, mysterious immortals, and golden immortals. Today, in this Ji County divine state, the 5 heavenly emperors, the 4 dragon kings, the lords of the 3 overseas mountains, and the major sect leaders in the spiritual world are all golden immortals. Although they are not golden immortals as teachers, they are now at the peak of Xian immortal cultivation. We will have a breakthrough soon. Yu He had a look of shock on his face. I originally thought that the Taoist in front of me would be at the nascent soul realm at best, and would be able to suffocate the soul to death. I never expected that his cultivation level could reach such a high level. He had never heard of the 5 heavenly emperors, the 4 dragon kings, and the lords of 3 overseas mountains. The only person I know who has the highest cultivation level is Sima Yun, the master of the first sect in Dongchuan Prefecture, the Changqing Temple, Qingyuan master, a Taoist priest who has cultivated in the Yuanshen realm. The Taoist priest has such a high level of cultivation. Even the immortals will compete to join your section. Why would they like me, an ordinary person? Celestial beings are also cultivated by ordinary people. And in Pandeo's view, cultivation is easy to obtain, but character is difficult to find. Therefore, when Pandeo accepts disciples, those with the best character are always the first. What is character? perseverance, temperament, loyalty, and filial piety. A person with perseverance will die 9 times without regrets. The path of cultivation is obscure and difficult, and it takes an extremely long time. Only one with perseverance beyond ordinary people can withstand the boundless loneliness brought by the long river of time, and then reach the other side of the road and achieve success among people. Saint. People of temperament are upright and sincere, open-minded and alert. Our Chongshan Academy is a famous sect of righteousness, and the disciples under our sect are all dedicated to upholding justice, slaying demons, and protecting the common people. Small-minded disciples with narrow minds have no chance of joining this section. Those who are loyal and filial are not foolish, loyal, and filial, but respect their teachers and love the weak. The way of cultivation is to practice Taoism, not immortality. Even if you become a saint and become an ancestor in the future, you will still be a human being. Practitioners restrain their 7 emotions and 6 desires, and those who are not ruthless and unfeeling, but those who abandon their families and children are the most abominable. Do you understand? He nodded. When I saw you asking for orders to get rid of demons for the people of Uejia town, it showed your loyalty. Now you are giving rice to the poor, which shows your upright and persevering character. Although there is no way forward or the golden elixir, I haven't seen you for 3 years. Instead of retreating in your cultivation, you have become more mature and refined, which shows your perseverance. These 3 are the reasons why I want to accept you as my disciple. After a pause. That's all I have to say. Do you have any questions? He shook his head, lifted up the hem of his robe, knelt on his knees, clasped his hands in fists, and looked respectful. Disciple pays homage to his mentor. Ha, good disciple, get up quickly. With a wave of his big sleeve, a surge of secret energy lifted He up. You come with me. He only felt a gentle force lifting himself off the ground. Before I could feel it clearly, my eyes flashed and the surrounding scenery suddenly changed. It was no longer the living room of his in-laws' house, but a quiet and elegant bamboo building. On the wall in the middle, there is a huge painting with the word Tao hanging on it. The writing is vigorous and the artistic conception is leisurely. Become a disciple of Taoist priest 4 Eyes. Author, Dong Ren. Chapter 712. There are no tables and chairs on both sides, and there are no porcelain paintings or other furnishings. Instead, there is a yellow futon placed under the only painting with the word Dao. Apart from this, there are no other furnishings in the entire living room. Su Junming sat cross-legged on the yellow futon, stretched out his hand, and suddenly a cloud of air surged out of the ground like red jade, turning into a futon. Sit. Teacher, is this? This is my master's personal cave. Dongtian Paradise, he said in surprise. This is a place that, according to legend, only immortals would own and live in. That's right. Teacher is indeed very powerful. After praising him, he sat down on the futon. After a faint smile, Su Junming said. There are 2 types of disciples under my master, direct disciples and registered disciples. Those who are direct disciples will inherit my mantle, and they will be connected with each other and share will and woe. Those who are registered will receive my true disciples, respect my laws, and come and go as they please. Your qualifications, character, and understanding are enough to be my registered disciple, but if you want to become a true disciple, you still need to pass a test. Teacher, please give me your instructions. After Su Junming nodded, he waved his right hand. The human soul divine gate slowly flew out, and boom fell aside. This treasure is the human soul divine gate, which is the most precious treasure of our Chongshan lineage. It contains the 3 tests of heaven, earth, and man. Anyone who passes the test of the word human can enter the inner courtyard of our Chongshan Academy to practice. Anyone who passes the test of the word Di can be the direct disciple of our Chongshan Academy. Anyone who passes the test of the word Tian will be the direct disciple and be recorded. Only those who are disciples of the inner sect can go down the mountain to practice Taoism. What you need to pass now is this land character level test. He clearly looked at the stone door next to him that was 1 foot high, 9 feet wide and 3 feet thick, with embossed gourd and vines. It was very simple and mysterious. A look of determination appeared on his face. Stand up and clasp your fists. Disciple is willing to accept the test. With a flick of the finger, the stone door opened with a bang. In that case, go ahead. After he bowed and saluted, he strode towards the stone door. The thick and irreversible darkness inside did not scare him at all. After he stepped inside, the stone door slowly closed. Leaving an avatar behind to guard him, Su Junming got up and came to Tiangong Hall. There is a blazing fire in the 100-foot-high Tiangong divine furnace, and a golden lotus slowly rotates on the purple divine fire. Through the lotus, one can see a ball of gold in the red, slightly shining with mysterious light, about 3 feet in size of blood. After hundreds of years of tempering in the Tiangong divine furnace, Zhulong's great witch essence blood, which once had a diameter of 100 feet, has shrunk by nearly 100 times. Most of the Earth's turbid air has been peeled off, leaving only the last bit, which is particularly strong and difficult to remove. Divine consciousness seeps into the blood. In an instant, it felt like I was here in ancient times, and a desolate, vast, and profound roar spread into my heart. At the same time, the phantom of a god and demon was reflected in Su Jun's sea of consciousness. This god and demon is 1,000,000 feet tall, covered in red scales, with red hair like fire, eyes like lightning, 2 horned fire snakes wrapped around his ears, legs like pillars holding up the sky, and 2 fire dragons stepping on his feet. Flames were steaming all over his body, like a god of fire coming out of the boundless fire. It is one of the 12 ancestral witches, fire god Zhurong. Su Junming also didn't expect that when he was out of curiosity and purified the blood essence of Zhulong's great witch, he actually got a drop of the blood essence of the 12 ancestral witches Zhurong, the fire god. It can be seen from this. According to legend, the witch clan was created by the 12 ancestral witches using their own essence and blood, and this is not a lie. 3 years have passed, and there are still no changes. It seems that if you want to further refine your blood essence, you have to wait until the Tiangong divine furnace, advance to the realm of high-grade innate spiritual treasures, or obtain a higher level of flame. With a gesture of his hand, the golden lotus slowly flew out of the divine furnace. The lotus leaves opened, and the vast sea of life essence rose into the sky like a volcano erupting. Accompanied by an invisible roar, the image of the ancestral wizard Zhurong appeared in the Tiangong Hall. If it weren't for the seal of Kongshanju, there would still be the Tianwai Shenshan cave heaven outside, but this phantom would not cause much trouble in Chixian Shenzhou. Su Junming formed seals with his hands, and countless spiritual lights turned into numerous spells. Gradually, a huge gourd gradually took shape, and at the same time, the essence and blood was collected into it. Soon, this drop of Zhurong's essence and blood, which was not pure, was sealed. The gourd slowly shrank, turning into 1 foot and 3 inches, and fell into Su Junming's palm. Taking it, he turned around and left the Tiangong Hall, and came to the Forbidden Treasure Hall. It's called Hidden Treasure, but there are only 3 things in total that Su Junming values and are qualified to hide here. When he was in Uncle Ju's world, Chen Lin gave him the black seed as a gift to become his apprentice, but the black seed has not sprouted yet. Back in the Shushan world, the god Nefenchuo gave him the nameless willow branch in exchange for the golden lotus of merit. Now counting this drop of impure Zhurong essence and blood, there are exactly 3. After slowly putting it in, Su Junming's heart moved. It was beyond my expectation that it could be passed so quickly. He flashed back to the main hall of Chongshan residence. At this moment, the human soul divine gate shone brightly, and Yuhi's figure appeared above the divine gate. The treasure is solemn and the expression is solemn. After nodding with satisfaction, he reached out and made a move, and the divine gate of human soul sank into the dantian. And he slowly flew down 3 feet in front of him. Sensing the strange movement in the outside world, he opened his eyes and saw the master standing opposite with a smile on his face. He quickly stood up straight and said in anticipation, "Master, I passed." It was about his own future, and he couldn't help but become nervous. Su Junming smiled. "Come with me." With a wave of his sleeves, the wall of the living room seemed to be rippling with water, and a bamboo door appeared out of nothing and gradually became clear. Squeak, push the door open and go in. He quickly followed. The furnishings inside the house are also very simple. Sitting north and facing south, there is an offering table. Above the altar table, 2 paintings hang. On the left side, there is a middle-aged Taoist priest wearing a yellow Taoist robe, wearing black glasses, carrying a magic sword on his back, and smiling. The picture on the right shows a middle-aged Taoist priest who is also wearing a yellow Taoist robe, has a Chinese character face, a majestic look, and a sinister look in his unibrow. There were no tributes on the offering table, but there was a 1-foot-tall 3-legged copper incense burner with 3 long incense sticks that were almost extinguished. There is a jade book on the left side of the incense burner and an incense box on the right side. Apart from that, there is nothing else. Su Junming took out 3 incense sticks from the incense box, lit them with the fire energy, placed them between his eyebrows, bowed respectfully 3 times, and inserted them into the incense burner. "These 2 are seniors of our section. On the left is my mentor, your ancestor, Taoist priest 4 Eyes, on the right is your great uncle, Taoist priest Yaimei. You pray 3 times. After he nodded, he bowed respectfully to the 2 elders 3 times. After waving their hands, the master and apprentice walked to the window seat and sat down cross-legged. Just like before, 2 strands of red energy surged up on the smooth ground and turned into futons, supporting the 2 of them. "Since you have joined my Chongshan lineage, I must make it clear to you. Chongshan Academy was built for masters. With me as the leader, you have 7 other master uncles below. Your second master's uncle's Taoist name is True Lord Yin and Yang, his name is Renwuji, and he has the same Xianxian cultivation as your master. Your third master's uncle is called 5 Virtues True Monarch, his name is Dragon Emperor, and his cultivation level is also Xianxian. Your fourth uncle's Taoist name is Zhenjun Zaiwei, his name is Ao Tian, and his cultivation level has reached the level of Golden Immortal. Ao Tian is the heavenly Dao of the Chongshan world. With the nature of the Chongshan world now among the thousands of worlds, not to mention the Golden Immortal, even the great power of the Tai realm can suppress it. However, he is only innately perfect now. There is no need to advance to a higher level of Tai realm with him. Your fifth master's uncle's Taoist name is Tai Zhenjun, his name is Tai, and his cultivation level is also the Golden Immortal. Su Junming waved his hand, and the images of the 4 people appeared in front of he one after another. As for your 6th, 7th, and 8th uncles, I will introduce them to you later. He was inexplicably shocked. He never expected that his master's strength would be so powerful. Counting his mentor, there are 2 golden immortals and 3 mysterious immortals. Excluding your 2 masters, there are a total of 69 direct disciples of my Chongshan lineage, including my masters. 100 years have passed, and several more direct disciples of Chongshan have been added. There are 10 second-generation disciples of the same generation as you. There are 7 under my master. Your senior brother's Taoist name is Great Sage Fusion, his name is Qinzhong, and he has 2 direct disciples, Yetianyun and Wang Chao. He reached out and pointed, and the silhouettes of the 3 masters and disciples appeared in the water mirror. Your second senior brother's Taoist name is True Monarch Wuji, his name is Lin Zhenying, and he has 4 direct disciples, Yang Rong, Lin Rui, Zhou Qing, and Fang Ying. Teacher, How come the second senior brother looks so similar to my uncle? Your second senior brother is the only descendant of your great uncle. He should have been the same generation as me, but he became my disciple when he was young, so he has been waiting for you for the same generation. I see. Your third senior sister's Taoist name is Fairy Kong Sang, her name is Chiao Shaoxin, and she has 7 direct disciples. Gong Sun Juniang, Ning Keichin, Situ Minjiao, Jin Yun, Gai Yu, Yang Yunshan, and Qin Hain. Qian Kong, the lord of the Evernight City, is Su Junming's registered disciple, so his son will naturally become a disciple of Chongshan. Your fourth senior brother's Taoist name is Chiu Bearded Sword Saint, his name is Yan Chixia, and he has 6 direct disciples under his section. Zuj Liu Yun, Pang Xian, Situ Ping, Yu Yingnan, Mi Mingniang, Qian Lai. Your fifth senior sister's Taoist name is Ice Phoenix Fairy, her name is Su Huang, and you have 8 direct disciples under your section. Fu Qingfeng, Fu Yueqi, Tang Zikan, Deng Bagu, Su Yuchen, Yi Jing, Zhe Feng, and Li Yingsheng. Your sixth senior brother's Taoist name is Wu Jinren, his name is Zuch Wolong. He is the only direct disciple of your third senior uncle. There are 5 direct disciples under his section. Gu Hong, Shi Sheng, Huo Wuhei, and Shang Guanhong. And the second disciple Qiu Yuan. Your 7th senior brother's Taoist name is True Lord Hyun Yuan, his name is Chen Lin, and he has 4 direct descendants. Su Finiang, Yu Qinbin, Lin Yuan, and Li Xiaoyao. Your 8th senior sister's Taoist name is the Holy Mother of Red Flowers, her name is Miao Chufang, and there are 6 true disciples under her section. Xie Hongying, Lu Yuniang, Miao Ying, Zhou Qingyun, Qin Xiling, Shi Longwu. Your 9th senior brother's Taoist name is Hao Shenren, his name is Shang Taijin. He is a disciple of your 4th uncle's section. There are 5 true disciples in his section. Li Jinchen, Xinru, Zunchen, Tianmeng, Beimei. Although Su Junming does not want to see Buddhism, people like Xinru, Zunchen, Tianmeng, and Beimei are all people with profound merits. Therefore, he did not directly cut off their path. Instead, let these people reincarnate and cultivate again, and do it again. The 2 sages of the West can cross 3,000 mortal worlds and strengthen Buddhism. Su Junming can naturally take away talents from Buddhism and strengthen Chongshan Academy. Your 10th senior brother, whose Taoist name is True Lord Xian Huang, is called Panluo. He is also a disciple of your 4th senior uncle. There are 5 direct descendants in the section. Nangong Ling, Chen Qinglan, Li Yun, Zhi Gong, Kong Tuo. Li Yun is the secular name of the crazy monk. Now that he has been reincarnated and re-entered Taoism, of course he has to change his real name back. One by one, everyone's images were displayed in front of you. Now you are the 8th direct disciple of our master, and also the 2nd generation and 11th direct disciple of my Chongshan lineage. After saying that, he waved his hand, and the jade album placed on the altar flew into his palm. This is the list of direct disciples of our section. You can enter it with your spiritual consciousness. He did as he was told. After his spiritual consciousness touched the jade book, dozens of pages opened. Soon a blank jade page appeared. Immediately afterwards, Yuhi's figure, name, and origin appeared on it like a floating phantom. After nodding slightly, he closed the jade book and put it back on the offering table.